always joined by the Canadian Supernova Ajax. Isn't that right, buddy?
Canadian Supernova.
Oh yeah, dude. You're like Gnome Dar, but not.
I want a Champagne Supernova.
Ooh.
I mean, Oasis is coming back.
Hell fucking yeah, dude. Let's go. Well, today, Ajax, on our one-shot, we're going to be reviewing a very cool book here. We got Aphrodite 9, story by David Wohl, pencils by Dave Finch, and inks by Joe Weems and Victor Yamas, who did the inks, and Steve Furchow, who worked on colors.
Sorry, who wrote this?
This is by Dave Wohl.
Dave Wohl, okay.
David Wohl, yeah.
Dave Wohl also wrote some Witchblade, some very early Witchblade as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a fun book because I chose this a long time ago for Christmas because I was like, haha, green hair, right? Christmas, red and green. But, dude, in 2024, Top Cow not only has brought back their website to sell comic books on Top Cow merchandise, but Top Cow has a Christmas special edition comic book out. And on the cover of the book is Witchblade in a Santa hat, The Darkness in a Santa hat, and Aphrodite 9 in a Santa hat. I was like, this is made for me.
It's like they were listening to you.
Literally, dude. So, I still have to buy that. I have to get my hands on that book. Because I feel like that would be really cool to have in the collection. It's the top 3 characters you and I love. For Top Cow. I'd say it's the main 3 of Top Cow. These 3 characters. Definitely the most pivotal. For people that don't know, Aphrodite 9 was actually supposed to get an animated TV show movie. Like an anime-style movie. It was supposed to, yes. And there is actually a trailer for it, Ajax. That I will, I will have to look at it with you offline. But there is one, and you can see what it was supposed to look like. I think it's an anime. It would technically be an animated movie that was supposed to come out. But this went on to have numerous statues, spin-off books. There's an Aphrodite 10, Aphrodite 11. There's a bunch of Aphrodites. I mean, there's a recent book in Image where Aphrodite, one of the other models, comes back and starts fighting Ballistic from Cyberforce. And I was like, whoa. This is cool, and I bought the fuck out of that book.
That is really cool. Oh, actually, speaking about Cyberforce, I was browsing on Amazon the other day, and I saw that they have a listing for the complete Cyberforce Volume 2.
Ooh, I saw Volume 1 at Newberry Comics, and I was like, oh, it kind of threw me off guard. I was like, holy shit, Cyberforce, what the fuck?
Yeah, Volume 1 has been out for a long time, but complete Volume 2, I guess has been announced. Like, I've seen an official listing on Amazon, so look out for that.
Definitely. Holy shit, dude. I collected the miniseries. I have the entire miniseries and read through it, and I really liked the miniseries. But yeah, no, Aphrodite 9, I was supposed to have a lot of things going for it. It was looking real good, and then Top Cow kind of stopped making stuff.
Yeah, just kind of like all of a sudden.
And I will say, I read Aphrodite 9 in a very different way. While I have the floppy here, I read it in this way. When I first read Aphrodite 9, I read this in like January, the beginning of the year.
Is that a trade?
This is the trade of every Aphrodite. It's only about how many issues are in it? I think there's only 4 or 5 issues. It's a very short mini series. There's not a lot of issues in the first run of it. So
the first run is only 4 issues.
Yeah, 4 issues, yeah. Well, 5. So technically 4, but then there's...
5 with the 0... Yeah, the 0 issue, right?
The wizard number 0, baby. This is the one.
Right.
So this was the issue in their magazine. I saw this image in their book,
of course,
last year, and I said, well, I got to own this cover. And then I bought it, and then I read it, and I was like, this is actually a cool concept. So I went and bought I was trying to find issue 1 because I was like, I'm gonna get all the floppies and have them all. And then I couldn't find them at any local store. And then I just went to the store and they had Aphrodite 9, the trade paperback, so I just bought it. They had it for like $15, like regular price. So I fucking grabbed that shit. I was like, hell yeah. So it was an easy purchase for me. It has every cover in here you can have, so it's all printed in this. It has like concept art, sketches, a bunch of stuff like that. So I read it very differently than this first issue. Because by the time this issue ended, it went right into issue 2 with like ease, where it just seamlessly went together. So reading this where it ended, I was like, oh shit! It ended on a pretty big cliffhanger in this book. So it was cool reading it from a different point of view this time around.
Right.
Your initial thoughts. Should we do your initial thoughts before or after?
What would you prefer? I'll let you pick. I don't mind.
Let's see. You know what? Let's do some thoughts while we go through it.
Okay.
So we start off the book here with a beautiful splash page.
Yes.
Of Aphrodite flying through glass. Her shirt's torn up. Her clothes are torn up. She's wearing like a long trench coat. She looks like she's almost sleeping in this image.
This is very like Mission Impossible opening scene kind of.
Absolutely. It's textbook comic books where you start with something that catches your attention, a big impact, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just talking. It's a woman flying through the air with glass around her. You want to know what the hell's going on. So as she's flying around, you hear someone giving a speech. And I will tell you this, if you read issue 0, this speech happens and you know who's talking. It is revealed in issue 2, but this whole speech literally happens in Aphrodite number 0.
Okay. Interesting. So I didn't read issue 0, I only read issue 1.
Yes.
I thought this was basically her inner monologue, like to herself.
So what it is, it's actually a presentation to people. I'll show you in the trade here of her being shown off as like an art of war to people, and you see her being created in these tubes, and all the dialogue is the same dialogue you hear when she's flying through the air there, and you get some really cool imagery of her. You know what I mean? In the number 0 issue. And you even see like it's a very short. The number 0 issue is very short. It's only about like 8, maybe 10 pages, if even that. It's very short, but then it jumps right into where you leave here. So yeah, this person's talking about how much better these Aphrodite cyborgs are, and the way they explain it is like, you know, it's better than humankind. You guys look down on these androids, but look at yourselves. You guys are half android. They're like, look at your genitals and your eyes and things like that. They go, it's all artificial. Basically talking about fake tits and fake eyes and things like that. They're like, you're just as artificial as her. But the thing is with her, she doesn't age. She doesn't die like you people do. She will live forever. And as we're starting to figure that out, we see this view from her falling out of a building. She's falling out of the top of a skyscraper, basically.
Yeah.
And then we get her inner dialogue, which we see it's in like green boxes. And she's like, this is my favorite part of the dream. When I hit the ground and wait, am I really? And then as she figures it out, like, wait, am I really sleeping? She fucking face plants the cement at full speed. And she's like, well, that felt real. Did I die? And she goes, if this is heaven, I was expecting a lot more, because this just looks like the regular world. And as she's getting up from the ground, she gets guns put in her face. You hear the iconic click, 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 click of the multiple guns. And we see she's being reprehended by these soldiers that are holding her down, trying to arrest her, basically kidnap her. We don't know, maybe that's people who's chasing her. You don't really know. But you kind of could put two and two together. Yeah. Yeah, and then she starts beating the shit out of one of the guards. And she says in her head, like, I don't know how I'm doing this, but I'm kind of happy I know what I'm doing, even though I can't control myself. Like, I kind of just have muscle memory of how to fight someone. So she destroys this guy and punches him in the face. And she's like, give me answers right now. And she goes, you're gonna help me figure out where I am and who I am. Who are you? What is going on? I don't know anything that's happening right now. And he starts to, like, mumble a word. And she can't really understand him. And there's a really cool image there for silhouette with, like, her glowing eyes. It looks very cool. And as she's trying to understand what this guy is saying, more soldiers come from behind her. And they just fucking blast into her, dude. She just gets lit up with bullets. And she's like, well, I'm dead, you know, like, shit. And then she gets shot, and she gets out of it. Like, she just kind of eats the shots. They throw a grenade at her, and she starts shooting the other guard's gun at them with bullet holes in her chest. Yeah. And, dude, she fucking kills all of them, bro. She kills all of them. And she's like, I should be dead. Like, I don't even know how I'm alive right now. And she looks at her shirt, it's just full of holes. And as she's looking down on herself, a ship comes by, and they shoot a dart into her neck, and she collapses. And they go away with her. And this guy cracks a joke, and he's like, hey, sorry I'm late, doll. Traffic sucked. And they show, and he's driving like a spaceship in clear skies. I also don't know, when you read it, did you have ads in your book or no?
I did not.
Okay.
But that's because where I grab my comics, they remove all the ads.
Well, this ad is cool because I know you would have liked it. It is an ad for, it says Overkill. It's an ad for a Top Cow book that has Witchblade, Aliens, Darkness, and Predator in one book.
That sounds crazy. And it's Paul Jenkins writing it?
How fucking cool is that, bro?
Wow.
Paul Jenkins, writing and pencil by Clarence Lansing.
I might have to track that down, actually.
It came out winter of 2000, and I'm like, dude, I kind of want this now.
It sounds ridiculous.
And I went from that badass picture to a picture of an ass.
Yeah, you can see some steamy butt cheeks.
We get it's something that's become common on the show, Ajax. The sideways spreads that make you look like a pervert when you're reading, you know?
I would say
like you're reading
this is,
Playboy.
This is kind of This is David Finch that I was gonna say this is a Michael Turner special, but this is David Finch that drew this, right?
David Finch did it. Michael Turner did it. Rob Liefeld did it first.
Yeah, true. But I was gonna say they did this a lot in Top Cow. A lot of the girls in Top Cow would like have these like, you can't see them fully naked, but you can kind of see them like half naked.
I'm pretty sure if I crack open Witchblade #1, there's something in there that's the same type of spread.
Yes,
probably
there's
a
there's a spread of her like half naked in the first issue.
Yeah,
there is.
So at this time, she still doesn't know what's going on. So she's taking a shower, Aphrodite, and she's like, I don't know, like, am I still in a dream? Like, the water feels real, the steam feels like hot, like, I feel everything and it feels real, so this must not be a dream. And she remembers falling. She's like, the bullets felt real, the fall felt real, like, I don't know what's going on. And the worst part of all this is she doesn't know where she is. And she kind of hates where she is, too. She's like, this is kind of a crappy place to live if I live here.
I was going to say, Gabe, this apartment is a fucking shithole.
It is horrible. And we get another view of it in the next page where she's still not sure. She's still questioning herself of where she lives. And she's like, and worst of all, like, I don't know who this guy is in this house, but he must be bad news because he just looks like a bad guy. You know what I mean? He looks like Bullseye in the Daredevil movie with the head tattoo and everything, you know? But you look, he's got like tubes coming out of his neck, like Bane. And then that's when it starts clicking like, oh, this is like a cyberpunk kind of world, you know? We got like this cyborg chick they were talking about. This guy has like metal tubes coming out of him with like these like bolts and stuff. You're like, all right, it's kind of cool. And he's like, oh, great. You know, you're up earlier than usual. And he's like, oh, let me help you out. And she cuts him off. And she's like, I know you. And he's like, well, that's different. You don't really know me every time I see you. And she's like, so this wasn't a dream. You shot me, drugged me, and took me here. She's like trying to piece it together. And she goes, I gotta say, you're not my favorite person right now. So she's like kind of freaked out by this guy, which I don't blame her. So he tells her, all right, you need answers. You need to know what's going on. You're lost. So let me try to make some sense of everything that's going on right now. And he goes, but I want you to sit down, though. You usually do when I tell you this. So she's like, okay, what do you mean? He's like, just watch. And as she's still trying to figure this out, you hear a voice coming to her through a TV. And the voice is herself. And she even says, like, hey, I know this is weird. I'm you. But just know, this guy you're with, he's safe. She even says, and I quote, hell, I know he looks like an unsavory, greasy pedophile. To which,
I knew you were going to bring that up.
To which current day Aphrodite says, to say the least. And he goes, hey.
Hey! I mean, I think anyone would object to being called the unsavory, greasy pedophile. That's insane.
But this greasy-looking pedophile guy, his name is Birch. And this version of Aphrodite tells her, she's like, listen, I'm telling you, he is our only friend right now. You need to trust him. You don't know what's going on, but I do. And I'm telling you, he's okay. Trust him. And she says that thank him for helping make it this far. I usually forget to do that. And when she said that, I was like, yeah, she didn't say thank you at all. She was like questioning him. So she's like, there's a lot to this that's going on. She goes, it's almost like symbiotic, but he has to tell you what's kind of going on. It's kind of a lot, but we'll let him do that. But just so you know, we're not human. Don't freak out, but we're not human. She goes, technically, you could say we're more like android, synthetic humans. That's when you find out she is basically a robot with skin, Also, we get another ad here, too, for upcoming cons that Top Cow will be at in the upcoming year, which is pretty cool. With a beautiful Michael Turner
I like
drawing.
that.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Michael Turner
that's
art.
very nice.
Then we get another sideways spread here. More half nudity. By the way, this picture here, when I was looking, this looks almost like a reference they used.
A reference like
they based her look off of someone, because this looked like, I don't know what it is. Like, I look at her on the page before. It's not bad. I'm saying, like, I look at the page before and how she looks here, and this looks like a drawn from memory drawing. Like right here.
Sure.
But then you look at it here, and it looks just a little bit more realistic. She has a very realistic looking face. I don't know if it's the colorist, maybe, that just colored her really well.
Yeah.
But she has almost a realism look to her. I also noticed that, too. All the guys in this book look very gritty and, like, have a lot of lines on their face, and she's very delicate. She has, like, very minimal lines on her face. She looks very, like, safe and, like, soft, Like, not in a weird way. But you know what I mean. They make her look not rough, which I don't know if that's, like, on purpose or if that's, like, an artistic thing.
For sure.
But yeah, she goes, I know this is going to be difficult for us, but I need you to know that there is an upside to all of this. You may not be human, but you're something better than that. She goes, we're strong, we're resilient, and we innately know how to use nearly any weapon, which I'm like, that's fucking OP as hell. And she goes, basically, we kick ass and get paid for it. I'm like, that's cool. But this is when we find out the bad news and why she's questioning everything about her existence, Ajax. We find out that whenever she finishes a mission, she's created to fulfill a mission. But when the mission's done, she loses her memory. It's like it never happened. Immediate
like
amnesia.
That's some Men in Black shit.
Yeah, she gets the light in the face, just immediately forgets. And that's why this video was made, to help her remember and get on track quicker and easier. So she hugs Birch, and so she feels safe. And he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry to break up this hug fest, but like we gotta go. Like I was hoping to spend more time, but there is more important things going on right now. Here's some money. There is one thing you didn't forget how to do, and that's buy things. So go out, get some food. You're probably getting hungry. Get some new clothes, and then meet back here." So she goes out, and this is where you really see like the cyberpunk looking world. Everything's like dark and grungy and metal and made out of like cloth. Like it looks real. It kind of reminds me of Cyberpunk 2077 almost. Like she could slot into that world, I think, perfectly fine. Which then it clicked in my head. I was like, dude, an Aphrodite game that's made like Cyberpunk, I would take that all fucking day. That'll be cool. I feel like restarting my Cyberpunk game playing as her.
You could probably make her easily, actually.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So this one when she starts walking around, she's still trying to make way of things. But she's like, yo, good thing that video existed, because I wanted to strangle that guy. He's kind of a dick. If she didn't tell me he was a friend. So she goes to this place. It's like a Chinese food place. And she's like, well, this stuff looks weird. Also, people are like staring at me.
I wonder why, because they're selling cat for $5.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
But they're selling spam for 10. What the hell's going on?
Like, dude, this is a scam.
That's a fucking... What the hell?
So, yeah, she's kind of weirded out because people are looking at her. And she's like, I don't know them. I don't know myself. Maybe they know me. Am I like a celebrity? Like, what's going on? Everyone's staring at me. Anyway, this food looks kind of good. She doesn't know what to order. She's like, I just got to take a shot at something so I can eat. So she's like, I'll have the half kilo of cuttlefish, I guess. And the dude goes, oh, of course, Aphrodite, your usual.
She's like, what?
Like,
whatever.
She's like, okay. So she goes back, which I feel kind of bad for her here, because she goes back with a bag of food, and we never see her eat it. So, and trust me, when you get Chinese food, you want to eat that immediately. It's so good.
Yeah.
So she goes back and she's like, all right, it's time for more answers. You kind of rushed me out earlier, but it's time for more answers. Why are these people staring at me? Do they know me? What's going on? And this guy's like, are you dumb? Like, you want to know why they're staring at you? It's because you're hot. You look good. And he says, like, have you looked in the mirror recently? Like, not everyone here looks even okay. Like, they just think, and he's like, they don't know you're an android. They just think you got lucky and were attractive when you were born. You know? He's like, that's why they're looking at you. You're like the hottest person here. He's like, it's nothing more than that. And he's like, hey, I'm sorry, but there's something we really got to get to. The department let me know. Like, we need to get on top of this mission immediately. And you find out, too, he when I forgot to mention earlier, but when the movie was talking to her, he shows his leg, and it's completely made out of, like, cyborg metal. He has, like, a bionic leg. And she asks him, like, hey, are you, like, me? And he's like, no. Like, everyone here has some modifications. I'm just a normal guy, you know. As far as I know, you are the only thing of what you are. Like, you are a one-of-the-kind, special type of thing. And there's no one like you. And he goes, you do one thing, and what you do is you're good at killing. And he shows her, like, a weapon wall of just an insane amount of guns and, like, explosives.
Yeah, I would say the Punisher would love to have that weapon wall.
Yeah, and he tells her straight up, he's like, listen, you are made as a killing machine. You do what you can to make enough money to live after the missions, to, you know, get some food in your system, live in an okay way before you're called back for another mission. That's what you do. So we go to the next page here, and we see this giant ball happening. It looks like it's on a floating planet. It looks very cool.
Yeah.
You see all these flying ships around and all that. And this is where we find out she is forced to murder a man, like a councilman. And this is where she starts, like, having kind of like a conscience. Because she starts thinking, like, how many people have I killed if I forget my missions? How many missions have I done? How many people have I had to kill if I don't age? Like, I must have been doing this forever. And she's like, oh, I got to remember to talk to Birch after. And then she immediately is like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to know how many people I killed. Maybe that's not something I want to know. But what I did notice about this book is that she keeps telling it to herself, oh, I got to remember to tell Birch this or someone this. I hope I remember you. And it's like, I wonder how many times she's had that thought where she's like, oh, I hope I remember this, you know? It just immediately forgets.
I was going to say that she gets home and it's like, boop, don't remember anything.
Yep, it's like nothing happened, yeah. So we see her, she's dressed in the ball. She's dressed in a big green dress, looking like a model, of course. And of course, everyone's got their eyes on her. They're all like, my lady. They're all Reddit mods. So as she's walking,
if she was 15, they'd be Discord mods.
Goddamn. So she's walking around, and someone walks up to her, and he's like, "Hey, excuse me." He's like, "Do I know you? You look awfully familiar." She says, "But that line is awfully familiar." I'm like, "Oh, yo, this dude got hello Riz." Like, he just had to be like, "What's up?" And she's like, "Ooh, what's up?" So they're talking, and the way he's talking to her, it's like he knows who she is. Because he even says, he goes, Neville Stewart is my name, and you are. And she goes, pleased to make your acquaintance. And then as they're talking, she's staring at the person behind him. And he says, it was truly a pleasure to meet you. And then as she's walking away, he goes, again. So he kind of slips that in there, that he knows who she is. But at the same time, it's like, he's wording it like she knows she doesn't know or remember anything. You know what I mean? Like, he's in on it, almost.
Yeah.
They hint at that. To which the councilman also turns into a Reddit mod and goes, my lady, mwah, and kisses her hand. And we found out his name is Councilman Grosno Floyd II. He has a big bionic eye and everything. And she's
looks awesome.
like, yeah, it looks really awesome. And she even says to herself here, like, she's like, Neville Stewart, at the end of this, I hope I remember you. So you can tell she's a little, you know, she's feeling good about Neville. Neville left an impression, which is good. In my book here, I get an ad for something cool. Witchblade and Darkness golden trading cards made out of gold.
I kind of need that.
They're at the time they were $30 each. They were made out of 23 karat gold embossed cards.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was very fucking cool.
Probably very expensive now.
I can check. A lot of gold stuff isn't. You would think it is, but it's not. By the way, we're taking our time reading this and going through it on this, but when you read this book, it goes by very fast, but not in a bad way.
It's a very fast read, yeah.
But I would say not in a bad way. Like, it leads you through it at a pace that's like, it feels like when they're having conversations, like they're actually talking. So that's why it goes by kind of fast.
Yeah.
So she's talking to this councilman, and he's kind of just hyping himself up the entire time, and she's trying to, get close to him and get alone time with him, but she's getting a little frustrated about that because she has these bodyguards following her and him, and she even gets upset about it when she goes out and sees this motorcycle that he has, quote unquote motorcycle. It's like a speed car that floats in the air. And she kind of asks him, like, "Oh, can we get some alone time on this bike?" Because her goal is to kill this guy. That's her mission, and she needs to get away from these guards. And she even complains about it here. She's like, "God damn it, Birch! Like, couldn't take the time to figure out there was fucking bodyguards that follow this guy around, making this harder." Because now she's like, she even says she's like, he's driving so slow, like he's not even being like a risk taker. He's trying to be he's trying to show off and be a badass, but he's failing at that. And she goes, even though he's going so slow, I only have a minute and a half to kill this man and then get back to the rendezvous. So she's on his bike, and he's talking about how great it is that he's on this. He goes, "I feel like a proud papa on this." To which she responds with, "Yes, you do. Daddy."
What the fuck?
And then she immediately roasts him and says, "Luckily, Daddy Deers is too scared to really ride this thing." What I like about her is that she's a smartass. You know what I mean? She's a pretty cool character. So he's like, "Oh, tell me again how excited you are to be here." Like, he gets turned on by that. And she goes, "Oh, baby, I'm not just going to tell you. Are you ready?" And then the cut, and then she starts pulling a knife out of her dress. And he's like, "Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready." And then it's cool. If you look, you see her hair, like, extending. She has a thing that, like, changes her hair and her outfit, like, on the fly. So as the panels go on, her hair gets longer. And you see that person that's talking about her come back, and it's like, "Aphrodite, free time is over. It is time to complete your task. Now pay attention, everyone." Like, it's presenting her to everyone. And the next panel is just her slitting this guy's throat. And she grabs the neck, and he's just like, or he grabs his neck, and he's just fucking bleeding out through it. And you see her eyes. She looks evil almost behind him. Like, she looks like Spawn almost behind him.
Yeah.
And they talk about that too. It says, "Notice her expressionless face, her deliberate movement." It shows how, like, dangerous she is. Like, she's pretty, but she's dangerous. So you see her throw his lifeless body off the little the little cart, and you see her costume's already changed. She's back in her Aphrodite costume. And as she's flying away, you see these rockets coming towards her, and they get very, very close. And as they get close, the book ends.
They're like, "Where the fuck you going, bitch?"
The book ends.
Boom!
With Aphrodite being chased by rockets. And that's the cliffhanger, man. I will say, Ajax, they reveal in the next issue who is talking. So that voice that's talking, it starts off with that. It's like this weird world here that is making this android, and we see Aphrodite here in, like, her home garb. And by the way, heyo, this is what she was presenting to the people, and this is the woman talking. She sees Aphrodite as like a mother. I mean, she sees Aphrodite as like a daughter, and she's the mother. Right. You know what I mean? But she presents her as, like, their weapon of war. So we finally get to see who that is. To ease your tensions, Ajax, yes, she fucking blows up and hits the ground. But look who comes to save her.
Neville.
Neville Stewart. There is more than meets the eye of Neville.
He's gonna hit a red arrow on her.
Yes. But I'd say the coolest concept about this book is that with that mission, she never got back to the rendezvous, Ajax.
Is that right?
So she wakes up Actually, no, I lied. She doesn't get to the rendezvous, but she vaguely remembers Neville because Neville takes her in. So she still has the memory loss, but now she has Neville helping her out. And you start to see a little bit of conflict with Neville and Birch. So I would say definitely check out Aphrodite after. It is 1,000% worth the read. So looking at Aphrodite, Ajax, what did you think of this book altogether?
I thought it was a really quick and tight read, and I don't mean that like in a bad way, because I actually really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
I really did. I really enjoyed this, and after reading issue 1, I will probably finish the rest of the miniseries this week.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want to say too much, because I know you probably would want to finish. It's only 4 issues. It's really quick. But dude, the art just is it's amazing in this book. The story is unique. I think it's something that I would love to see with Top Cow really coming back. I think that Aphrodite is something that they need to bring back immediately, and really make a mainstay with this new Top Cow. I'm also waiting for the day they announce the relaunch of Darkness.
I'm waiting for that too.
So it's good news we're getting, him showing up in Witchblade, but yeah. But yeah,
we need more than just that. We need his own solo series again.
Yeah, absolutely. But just like that, man, that's Aphrodite 9. I would put this on the recommend list for people that want to get into Top Cow or just
for sure.
a cool 90s book at the time. If you want to just really get into something, this is something that I think we will both highly recommend.
When you read a Top Cow book, you're going to get great art, but you're also going to get a fun story out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, definitely recommend Aphrodite 9 to anyone that wants to check this out. 110%. And like I said, I read this as a trade paperback, so honestly, if you can't find the floppies, I do recommend getting the trade paperback. It's a great way to read it all in one. You get all the covers in it, some concept art, so I would say it is one of the best ways of reading Aphrodite.
For sure. I always recommend the trade. Always.
But just like that, man, that was our one-shot for the month, Ajax. A quick little in and out here for the people listening at home. We hope you all have a great holiday and a happy new year. Next time we see them, Ajax, it'll be the year 2025. We'll be back in January. For our January issue, we are going to be talking about, let me get this up here. We will be talking about the best legacy characters in comics. We talked about characters that took over mantles, but this time we're going to talk about characters that are associated with another one that went on to make their own name for themselves.
Yeah.
That left their own legacy in comics following being under the shadow of another character. So I think that'll be a lot of fun to go through and see those characters.
For sure.
Definitely. Well, we'll see you guys on the next one. You all take care. Oh, I didn't even say. I almost forgot before people leave. Our one-shot issue for next month, Ajax. You want to know what it is?
Yes.
It is a legendary. We are starting off 2025 with another legendary book, Ajax. We are going to be reviewing Savage Dragon #1 from Image Comics.
Yes.
To start off the new year, we are finally doing Savage Dragon. Savage Dragon.
I'm so excited.
It is a book I read to this day, the current books, so I'm so excited to read where it all started, because that book, from issue 1 till December of 2024, is the same line, same characters, and they all age in real time, which is so cool to me. So
That's amazing.
I'm so excited to read through Savage Dragon #1 with you in January. And that is a book.
Excited.
That's a book that has you can make a whole episode about its legacy characters. There's so many characters from Savage Dragon that last on to this day.
There really is, yeah.
Oh man, but we will see you guys on the next one. You all take care and stay safe. Bye.